Hey guys, James Meder here. I am super lucky today because Oscar Del Amor is here today.
That's right, Oscar Del Amor here with James Meder at
Pique Recording.
That's right.
So thanks for joining us, guys. And today we're going to be taking a look at a session that we worked on together, this tune, and it's called... What's it called?
It's called Do We Ever Know?
Do We Ever Know?
And does that song answer the question? Perhaps.
I was going to say we don't know. But yeah, we're going to dig into the track, but really briefly, just wanted to ask Oscar a couple questions about the record. It sounds great. You've been here the last day and a half just putting some of the tones through analog.
Yeah, it's really helped.
Been cool. Yeah, I think it's really beefed it up and made things better, and that's what we want to share with you guys today.
Oh yeah.
Is a little bit of that process. But yeah, do you have any thoughts, anything you want to talk about for the record? Like
the record, it was kind of interesting. I guess I'll just start when we did our song. You know, Do We Ever Know? I already had like, it was like started from like 30 demos down to like maybe 15 songs, and then I remember we did one from scratch. Yeah. And it was actually near the end of the whole process. Like I already kind of was narrowing down songs. But then we did one from scratch and just kind of jammed. A lot of live bass. I think you played live bass on the one we did together. And then...
you played some synth?
Yeah, I played some synth, played some guitar on it. And you ended up singing the tune we did together.
Did some vocals on it.
And yeah, man, it really came together. And that's kind of how the rest of the album is. A few featured artists. Jackie Nelson is on it. Shauna Gilfix is on it. Elijah Knowles on it, and then I'm singing some songs, and then some electronic elements mixed with some real guitar, real bass, some real synths, and some real analog gear on the mix session.
Sounds great, and I was pretty excited to kind of sit back here and like look over your shoulder to see what you're doing, because you do a lot of techniques that I don't really know about,
man.
Like different pitch shifting and sampling and like processing things that are a little bit different than what a lot of the stuff I do in the kind of the indie rock kind of world. So it's really interesting. And
for the EDM stuff, sometimes I just like to. It's not really EDM, it's electronic. Somewhere along the way, EDM became a bad word.
I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, I mean it's electronic and it's kind of dance music, so I guess it's electronic dance music. But it's like sometimes some sounds I just like to really pitch shift and mess up, and some sounds I like to like leave kind of organic, and I always shoot for like the blend.
Yes, there's a good blend in there. Like you were just showing me a couple minutes ago about you have the 808 on the very low end, and then you have an electric bass playing the same part above that.
Yeah.
And that's like an old school thing. They used to do that like on old Nashville records. They have it's called the tic tac bass.
Really, I didn't even know that.
You're using it in a completely different way.
Nice.
But it's the same kind of vibe where they would have. I think they would have like a stand up bass, and then maybe like a baritone bass or something higher up, like an octave up or something.
Oh, yeah.
Just so the stand up would be like the really subbiness.
Yeah.
And then the electric bass would be like the definition, and that's exactly what you were doing.
Yeah, so, I used it. I did that on a couple songs where the electric gives the definition, and then the synth bass gives that low feel vibe. It's funny though, on Do We Ever Know, it was more of like a different sections. Where the electric bass plays in like the verses maybe. And then it moves on to like the synth bass and the pre's, and then finally the 808 comes in on the drop. And that's that's similar to like I guess if you think I grew up playing in bands myself, so it's like if you're thinking in band terms, it's sort of like passing the part around as opposed to like everyone playing at the same time.
Sure, yeah,
kind of thing. Which both methods work depending on the song and the vibe. Yeah.
Nice, man. Well, that's great. And I hope I think we should dig into the session.
All right, I'm ready.
See some sounds. We're hoping to share some signal paths with everyone that we were getting on the analog end, and kind of just, I don't know, see how we beefed that song up and sing.
Oh yeah, I mean it's crazy how much the analog output, gear just gives it that extra definition.
Yeah, some character and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it really shapes it really musically. So we were really stoked on what we came up with. So let's check it out.
All right, let's check it out. So where should we start?
Where should we start?
The kick.
Let's start with the kick, because that's where we started when we did this yesterday.
I like starting with the kick, too. The kick is one of my favorite things.
So for the kick, we took the output, the sound that you had.
Yeah. This is how I had the kick. And then we ran it through the DBX.
DBX 165.
That's right.
Then it went to the Purple Tave graphic EQ. And then finally, it went to the Valley Audio Capex gate to kind of clean it up.
I love gates on kicks and snares and all that stuff. It's like, I remember when I first started discovering it, and when I was working on more organic music, I would use more expanders. The SSL channel expander, I loved using it. And then more electronic stuff, I set it more as like a gate situation.
Yeah, it really kind of changed the tail.
Yeah, well, and like everything needs to sound so fat and punchy, where it's like kind of nice just to get the kick just comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how it sounds like coming back from all the beautiful outboard, and this is how it sounds before.
So you were kind of focusing on the mids.
Yeah, well, it's funny because the low end. On this particular one, it was kind of already dialed in, but I was missing something in the mids to kind of give it that character, especially, maybe the folks at home can't hear the NS10s, but, the NS10s, you hear what's happening in the mids of it, so here's the DBX again. It's just tasty and crunchy.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's it blended.
Yes, a lot more forward.
Oh, yeah. And then here's it in the mix.
You call me helpless.
Here's the clap before.
That was the next thing we did. So there's a whole nother chain for that.
Yeah, we ran it through, what was it, Innovonics first?
Actually, the first one, this one I remember. The first one was actually the Harrison 32 EQ.
Okay.
And we shaped it a little bit EQ-wise, and then it went into the Innovonics 201, which is a really interesting kind of like dual stage limiter there.
I
with
love
an
that thing.
It has like an averaging thing, and then it has a peak limit, so
it just kind of goes.
It really grabs it really nicely, and then finally, I know you liked the last time we put it through.
Oh, and then the Transient Designer.
Yeah.
The SPL Transient Designer. That thing is super cool because it like it's both the sustain and the attack knob both give you exactly that.
It's like really hard not to just like turn them both up all the way.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like turning because you turn up the sustain, you're like, wow, that beautiful sustain. You turn up the attack, wow, that beautiful attack. And yeah, I've heard the UAD version of that. There's no Slate Transient Designer, would be nice.
Hint, hint, no.
Well, I have the Slate Everything bundle, and I love it. But yeah, the hardware, man, nothing like that hardware SPL Transient Designer. I think maybe Plugin Alliance might do one. Brainworks.
Okay. I'm not sure.
If we're talking software emulations, but it's such a unique piece of gear. I could spend this whole time talking about the Transient Designer. Just two knobs, attack, release. Boom.
And you're set.
I used to love it on toms when recording a band. I would do it. I'd put it on the front end. Yeah.
Nice. I know sometimes people use them as kind of like a gate, because they have that kind of feel if you take the sustain all the way down.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of like you can use it like that as an interesting kind of gate, and then the attack just peeks through.
Oh yeah, boom, boom. Some Josephson E22s.
There you go.
On the SPL Transient Designer on the front end, and then on mix stage, yeah. Kick and snare.
Mm-hmm.
And we ran some synths through it.
Yeah, that's right.
But should we get the claps first?
Yeah, let's check out the claps again.
So this is the claps after the Innovonics and the Transient Designer. Just punchy.
There's like a metallic kind of tone in there that really...
And then, and then the original has this the verb. But then here's the blend. Ooh.
Just like fills up the center.
Yeah, and it just feels, to me, it just feels so 3D. You know what? Now while we're here, I kind of want to send the Innovonics to the snare plate a little bit.
Why not? There it is. You can really hear it when there's like a metallic quality to it.
I love it. It's so explosive to me. And it's funny because the tune's kind of a jazzy tune, but the drums still got a hit. Here it is in the mix.
You call me helpless. Why was I so misunderstood? You found me afraid. How could
Man, I love it. So should we go through everything?
Let's
We have the vocals and the synths, the Sherman.
Yeah, let's go to the SPL on the synths. And wait, isn't that... We had two things on the synth.
We had two things. We did the SPL Transient Designer for this.
Let's hear that. That's right.
Which this guy actually, so with the kick and snare, I ran that parallel with what I had already. But this was such a cool sound running this through the Transient Designer that I muted the original. And I'm just using the SPL Transient
It's
Designer.
almost like a harder, like almost like a tremolo now. Before it was like almost like a vibrato kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But now it's like really it cuts like...
Yeah. And here's it before.
There's a lot more sustain. But the nice thing about what has going on for itself now is that sustain's not quite as prominent, so it leaves space for everything else.
Yeah.
Which really opens up, you can hear between the other instruments.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved the sustain as like its own thing, and then of course like I think that's part of the hard thing about mixing down a record. You just
You're so
can't,
attached to everything.
Yeah, you can't have everything going through these two speakers, even though it would be nice.
Damn you, speakers!
Yeah, you just can't do it, especially people listening to on smaller speakers, laptop speakers, headphones. So yeah, getting rid of some of that sustain just helps it not still poke out in the mix, but not take up as much.
That's really great.
Room.
do we ever really know?
And then for the other synth, we did some real special. So this is the original synth. Already kind of really funky. And then, man, you brought out the Sherman filter bank. And you were like, you want to try this thing out? I said, of course. And so, here's what it sounds like through the Sherman filter bank.
Again, it's mixed in parallel, so it's it's under the other instruments.
Yeah, well, this is just the soloed.
You can hear that envelope is way more aggressive now. Like,
so
nice texture.
And that's the blend.
That's great. I love that.
It's so cool. It's such a vibe. Mixed with that other thing going on. Yeah, then it kind of it comes in with an out.
And I think without the sustain on that vocal pad, it lets you hear the texture of the Sherman so much more better.
Oh yeah.
You can hear that kind of vibe because the other one isn't stepping on it by being so sustainy.
Yeah, and you know, and what's kind of cool is that, you know, since that sustain was kind of embedded in the file, it's like you still get like a taste of it, but it just doesn't take up as much room, you know? And there's a mix.
Do we ever, ever, ever? Do we ever really, really, really know? Do we ever know? Do we ever know? Do we really ever?
And I think that was that it for hardware on this song?
No, well, the second verse we did some SansAmp.
I forgot the SansAmp.
Yeah.
Hardware SansAmp, the original version.
No longer responsible.
That's the original vocal, and then your original hardware SansAmp.
No longer
And I remember
responsible.
it was delayed a little bit, you know.
Had some
latency when we were recording it, and you know, we've been just compensating it by sliding it and lining it up. But I remember while we were tracking it, we were like, the latency sounds fucking cool.
Yeah. It just made it be a thing.
Yeah, we ended up like making it exactly a quarter note late, and check it out.
No longer responsible.
So cool.
And you
said I was the one.
You sent that SansAmp to another.
And then I sent it
delay.
to another delay. So the SansAmp's already delayed a quarter note from the original, and then it's getting sent to another delay.
That sounds really nice.
No longer responsible.
To me, I love it.
You said I was the one.
That's you
to
singing.
blame.
Man,
The struggle.
right in this room, right?
And the
In this room.
In this room, I
On
remember
a
you saying.
AKG 414.
Man, and I remember I was reluctant on the 414 choice because sometimes it's too bright for me. But I don't know if it was the preamp you had going, but it just didn't sound that bright to me.
I imagine.
It sounds real smooth.
No, it was a couple months ago now, but I imagine it was the Atlas Pro Audio Juggernaut, which is kind of like my go-to pre for vocals, which is this black one right here.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
I think it was this guy.
I couldn't.
But did we use the Altec though?
No, the reason I know it wasn't the Altec is because that doesn't have phantom power on it.
Got it.
So it would have just been
The Juggernaut. Did we run a hardware compressor on the way in?
I'm sure. I almost always put it through the Drummer 1968
Nice.
tube compressor there. Just taking care of some like peaks.
no
What a
longer
good sound. I mean, you sound great.
Thanks.
responsible. You said
I love the sound of
was
that,
the
too.
one to blame.
Sounds smooth and
The struggle and the pain. It was the wind against our flame. Do we ever no longer responsible? And the pain. It was the wind against our flame. Do we ever know when the feeling's gone? Listen to your thoughts,
So there was one thing.
but the love is lost.
oh yeah, I don't think that's hardware, but
You did an octave. You did some different layer.
yeah. For the pre's and the drop, I ended up
Do we ever know
layering in a low one
When the feeling's gone.
and a high one.
Listen to your heart.
That's actually my regular voice. The other two are low.
Love is lost.
And it creates this.
when the feeling's gone?
Now
Listen to your thoughts, but the love is lost. Do we ever know when the feeling's gone?
Gives it this.
Listen to your thoughts, but the love is lost.
Oh, and then we automated that.
When the feeling's gone, listen to your thoughts.
Oh yeah, that's
Descend. the send?
I don't know, maybe the send is in the
There's a couple notes that are just awesome in here. This one. That's great.
Listen to your thoughts, but the love is lost. Do we ever know when the feeling's gone? Listen to your thoughts, but the love is lost. Do we ever really know? Do we ever
Really great stuff in here.
do we ever really know? Do we ever know? Do we ever know? Do we really ever know?
This part's great. So can you talk about like what's going on there at the very end there?
So yeah, at the very end, bit of a secret. Not so much of a secret actually. Don't tell anyone. Well, the really key is, all the outboard gear is nice and nice fancy microphones are nice. But I use my cell phone mic.
Oh man!
For this last outro. Just for the outro. And then I spliced it up. And
So that's the demo version.
That's the demo.
That's probably the first time I ever came up with that, just like ad-libbing.
Yeah, you were ad-libbing, and I think I remember being like, well, we were riffing a bit. And I was recording on my cell phone. It was just like... And then...
So I wouldn't forget.
Yeah.
We had to go back to that a few times because I did forget while we were doing it because it's kind of an odd timing in the hook there, in the drop.
And it feels so cool to me, like, it's like the beefy production, the 414, through the nice gear and, the drum. It's awesome.
Do we ever really know? Do we ever know? Do we ever know? Do we really ever know?
And then the cell phone just recording, it gives it this distance, and I don't know, it just gets a cool feel.
I love it. Good work on that. That was one of a lot of parts that you tweaked at your place, and then when I heard them yesterday, when you showed this to me, I was like, what's going on there? That wasn't in the last version. And there was a lot of those kind of vibes in this song where you surprised me, and it sounds great. So I'm excited for people to hear it.
I'm stoked for people to hear it too. And that's kind of how, like, my whole recording process has always been do as much as you can, as fast as you can, and edit it later. And it's like...
Well, worked out. Case in point.
And it's like... It's always, like, for me, I'm always trying to get closer to finished, but, like, leaving some room to have fun and mess with sounds and mess with... leaving a little bit of room for that something special to come in there and just change the feel to make it even more special.
And I think it's pretty special, so hope people like it.
I think they will. Check it out. The album's gonna be called If Love.
If Love.
And this one will be called Do We Ever Know?
Awesome. Thanks so much, Oscar, for letting us dig into this.
Absolutely. Well,
Lots of cool
pleasure was
stuff.
all mine.